Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Camppatton Family Compound. It's time for Friday night on the Homestead, and tonight's topic. Oh, what the heck? Hit the wrong button there, folks. Sorry, made it go backwards. No, we are not going back in time. Is walk behind garden tools. And how are y'all doing out there? Let me get over here and to the welcome everybody in. And I got Mark over here next to me, muted. All right, so first one in was Walt Rogers and posting with some of the emojis for channel members. Troop 1351 is next, also posting a bunch of those. Shady Hill Homestead is here, also a channel member. Chef Tech came in next. Rick Dalen's here. There's Garden Club is here, also a channel member. Life in the Sticks is here, formerly Grammy Karen. Wayne Hunter's here. Angel's Homestead. Mark's double dipping it with Mad Chick Acres. Geeky Gardens is here from Florida. Mother. Okay, everybody's talking to each other, so I got to figure out who hasn't said hi. Okay, so I guess I got everybody. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Just say, hey, you missed me. All right, so as you can guess, tonight is about garden tools, walk behind ones. And some of you are going to think, oh, he's talking all motorized. No, I'm not. All right. But yeah, some of them are going to be motorized. Some of them, you're going to say, that's not for the garden. But I will talk about a video I got coming out that proves a little bit otherwise here. For some of them, and some of them you think, oh, those only have one particular use. No, you can use those for the garden as well for certain large type gardens. And so we'll be getting to that here. The staff sergeant is leaving in the morning. Things got pushed back one day. So she's heading out tomorrow morning. And then in a couple weeks, cross my fingers, I'll have all the rest of the irrigation for the raised planter beds done, and I'll be heading to California for a week or so. All right. And let's go ahead and get the show up and running. And whoa, the numbers just dropped a whole bunch. Oh, well, those must have been some trolls trying to get in to make comments, but can't make comments unless they're a subscriber. All right, so let's head over here. Boom. All right, so let's take a look, see at what we got here. A lawnmower, that's not a garden equipment. Well, with the ride-on lawnmower I have, yeah, we used it across the field to mow down 2.5 acres. We're going to be turning into, I would call it it's not a deer plot because deer can't get into it, but we're going to be putting cover crop down to help revitalize the soil over there so we can turn it into a garden. But we mowed it all first before I hit it with the rototiller. Otherwise, you just, the big, 18-inch, 24-inch long weeds just kind of wrap around the rototiller. So yeah, a lawnmower can be helpful in a garden area for pre-prepping. Sounds weird, pre-prepping, where you get rid of the weeds before you get in there and start turning the soil and stuff. And Diana 2 just came in. All right. Other things most people don't think about. Oh, that's for just spreading the fertilizer and stuff for the lawn. No, you can use it like I'm going to be using it across the street for spreading the seeds for the cover crop. And that way it broadcasts the seed and I just put it out there. Although I'm going to see if it works pulling it backwards so I'm not stepping on top of the stuff I'm spreading out.
I bought one of those hand spinner thingies with the 2-quart hopper. Yep.
Yeah.
Dump in the top. It doesn't have a a shield on it to like speed up or slow it down. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. It was like $8. I'm like, I'll give it a shot.
The one I got has a trigger control on it. So you just got to, work on that, and you crank it. And the faster you crank it, the farther it broadcasts it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, my dog is barking at the thunder already. It's going to be a fun couple hours.
So this can be used for more than just, you can spread your seeds out. You can also spread out certain things like your activated or fast acting gypsum. You need to add some calcium to the soil, or the little sulfur pellets or other stuff like that. You need to spread out evenly on the soil, and then you can rototill it in, or you can just kind of give it a light rake in after you've already rototilled and put it out there. So believe it or not, these little fertilizer lawn tools can be used in a garden. And so let's go on here.
I know you can spread grass seed with them. We used to do that.
Yeah. All right. So anybody that doesn't know what this is, this is a walk behind string trimmer on steroids.
It's the weed whacker from hell.
Yeah.
And you could put a saw blade on those if you really want to take care of the big stuff, but I wouldn't suggest it.
Yeah. I'm debating it really, because some of the stuff I have, I added on I did a video on it, and I added up here on the side opposite the pull handle up there, I took a piece of PVC, 1 inch, put a cap on the end, glued on a cap, glued on a male thread piece, and then I made a female thread piece or a short piece of pipe and another cap, and I stuffed extra strings for the piece down here in it, like a half a dozen or so changes out, and then screw it on there. So if I'm out there in the field, I don't got to stop and walk all the way back to get extra strings. And they're all pre-cut to the right size. And these are heavy-duty strings. I mean, the stuff you use on your normal weed whackers, they're like, feed me, I want to grow up to be like that. It's like 10 times the size of one of those other ones.
You need to pick up some shielded steel cable, 1/4-inch cable that'll fit in those things.
Actually, I'd like to get a 9-inch or 12-inch steel wire brush.
Oh yeah, I've seen those. Yeah, they just clog up pretty bad.
Yeah, it won't clog up because it'll throw it right back out again. But yeah, those will cut through the big old stalks of the Russian broom or the pigweed or the milkweeds and stuff. But you got them bigger than my thumb, and they're harder than a diamond. I can't remember. I'm looking at it. It's almost 1/4 inch. So whatever that calculates out to. And it's square, not round. So it has a little bit of an edge on it. So, but anyways, these things are great for taking down the weeds in your garden plots, taking out the old corn stalks where you just want to cut them off. You go through there and you just kind of cut right through stuff, and mulch, and you kind of chop, like CR likes to say, is chop and drop. Well, yeah, you chop it, drop it, and it chops it some more.
Yeah. Anybody notice that brown line along the fence that looks like it might have been weed killer?
Yeah, that's probably. Now they probably look how rusty the bottom there is. They probably sprayed it with vinegar.
Sure. Oh my God, it's pouring now. Are you kidding me?
It's raining there, huh?
Oh my, yeah, and we're getting. I just pull the. I was gonna say pull the map up, but of Pennsylvania, and you're gonna be like, oh crap. Your dog's barking at my dog. The microphone on this iPad's pretty severe.
Yeah. All right, let's move on here. So, but this we use this a lot. After we use the ride-on mower, we'll go along next to the fence, and this will clear everything else off away from the fence. that the ride-on mower can't get. All right, next one. Come on, there we go. No, wait, why did I go backwards? Come on, there we go. Now we're getting burly here, folks. This is a Honda. This is the burliest Honda I've ever seen for the garden. It's got a twin V engine on it, so it's like a motorcycle engine almost. Probably is, but yeah, there's one of the heavy duty ones. I know most of us wouldn't go something so extravagant. My brother had something like this for his landscaping company, big monster. CSB, BSC. Anyways, it's a big blue monster that bigger than this thing here behind me. And they'd get two of the guys standing on the tiller, and he'd make one pass through someone's rock hard front lawn, and it's powder by the time they got to the other side. You don't have to get new. You can find one of these ancient ones, and little care and love, they will work just fine.
Hey, I'm gonna log off and log back onto my computer. It's pouring out here.
All right, head in. Yeah, these things are really neat. Some of the old ones, if you've know someone, or if you got the skill, or someone has the skill to tinker with it. This one, it looks like they put a new engine on it. Looking at that, I'd say that's froze. I would say, looking at that, that's a Predator engine from Harbor Freight. And it looks like it could possibly be, I'm looking at the knobs and stuff up here, one of the first era Troy belts. Then you got the little itty bitty one. And that's even smaller than the little electric rotor tiller I have here. I got a little one for getting into certain areas, and I actually used it in front of the house yesterday, and I forgot to film it. Sorry, people. I'll film the other section when I rotor till the other section for you. Other walk-behind tools. This is probably one of the most common walk-behind tool there is for gardens. Wait a minute. My tiller or my hands. Oh, you need to get those claw gloves. All right, but all the sorts of different ones here. I'm not sure where most of these are from, because of the way the handle bends down for the legs. But I know my brother, for his landscaping company, someone made him a great deal for one of the ones that has one of those things on it. They loaded it up with soil, mounted it up, picked it up, and because the pipe for the handle was bent at the you can see where I'm wiggling it over the red one there, at the where the handle comes down and meets and drops down for the legs, because it had been weakened because it's been bent. And you bend steel, even though it's running through the machine, it's still gonna weaken it there. Yeah, they went to pick it up one time, it just bent right up because it was so weak compared to the rest of it. Let's go to the next one here. Then there are these. We have the one on the left, that bright yellow one here, except I went and changed the tires out. I put run flat tires on it from Harbor Freight. I am not affiliated with Harbor Freight, but they do make some good stuff. So, and one of the other one on the front row here off on the right, all rusty there. That looks like a couple of the ones we had with wooden handles on it that my brother used to use for his landscaping company as well. The other one I have here, I'm not sure if I got the right one. Yeah, there's the one here out in the yard. This is one of the ones from my brother. He bought this back before I got married 33 years ago or so. 5 years ago. Okay, anyways, he bought this in spring of '79. He bought this one. It has since been used a lot. It's this rigid unbent handle back here where it supports all the weight and stuff is stronger than ever. However, being bare metal like that, sit in the sun, You better be wearing gloves when you grab hold of it. Yeah. But we used to fill this up loaded with concrete when we were pouring concrete driveways. He had 2 of these. And he had 2 of these with the metal handles, and he had 3 of these wooden handled ones here until they finally broke. The handles, not the barrel part. And yeah, these things are monsters. However, the staff sergeant does not like using this one because when it's full and full of wet stuff and heavy, because it's very unwieldy and you can lose a load really quick on it. Now, I remember when these things came out, oh, geez, back when we used to get Popular Mechanics. And here he comes back. Inside and dry?
Oh, yeah, my man cave.
Oh, you mean the garage?
Yeah, the garage, that's it. Surrounded by every tool I own, and I can't get to half of them, but right around July 14th, I start working from home, and I don't need to have 90% of the crap that's taking up space here. So I get my life back. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah, I remember when these things first came out, they would fold up together, so the wheels were only like maybe 8-10 inches apart when it was folded up. And they were all in there was in Popular Mechanics and some of the other magazines. The magazine, Mother Gardening, whatever it was called. But yeah, these things, using bicycle tires. I've seen some people make their own version of these, really cool. Yeah, this is a walk behind because that front wheel up there is the one that froze. Sorry about that. That front wheel is the one that turns and it goes like, so.
Yeah, my grandfather had one of those. The front wheel was single, it was a tripod, didn't turn. You just pushed down on the back a little bit, did a little wheelie, and spun in a different direction.
Yeah, but if you had those baskets full of rocks, you ain't pushing down on the back too easily.
Gotta load it correctly.
I've seen this when I first saw this on I first saw that one of these being used on this old house about 20 some odd years ago, one of these, except that one was gasoline, had a little Briggs and Stratton engine on the back of it running it. This one here has an electric motor on it and has a battery in the back there.
All you need is a little roof on it with some solar panels now.
Yeah, and so it just putters around the garden or job site in the case of this old house. And the rear wheel is one of those like the front wheels on the shopping carts. Yeah, it wiggles around. Sides drop down. Sides come off. Pull the cotter pins.
It's a caster.
Caster. That's the word I was looking for. But yeah, these things here. And when you drop the sides or take the sides off, you can put bigger pots on there and stuff to putter around in the garden. So if you're saying, I can't push a wheelbarrow or something else to haul stuff around your garden in, this things here would work. Then there is, for honorable mention, the ones that you don't walk behind, they walk behind you. The little garden carts. You get some that are balance dumped. You get some that are power dumped. And then, of course, there is the old-fashioned, the old good one. I got our first one like this. Oh, geez, let me count back. Had to be 94, 95. I got the first one from Northern Tool because it was the cheapest thing out that had it.
I got one of those in my backyard right now. My mom bought it. She used it a little bit, and I took it home. So I got, of course, all 4 tires are absolutely flat.
Yeah.
So
I got the one here that doesn't have the sides on it, sitting out here in the shop. All the tires have disintegrated. I got new tires from Harbor Freight, right size and everything. I just got to pull the cotter pins and put them on. And just pull the whole rims off and put
tires
it on.
And wheels. I was thinking of taking them off and filling them with spray foam or something, but we'll see.
Yeah. The someone did that. Basically, they took like a 1/4-inch drill bit, drilled several holes around it, stick it in there, and started filling it up. And they just went from hole to hole, and any extra kind of came out, and they just cut that off.
Yeah, give it a place to vent out and fill up all the voids, and let it harden, and just wipe it off, cut it off.
But the thing is, on mine, it's so old, the rubber is falling totally apart.
You just need things that are round that rotate on good bearings. That's all you need. You could do it with pieces of wood if you want. Be a little
probably work better than the current tires I have on it. All right, next thing here. What do we got next? Okay, now we're moving into the newly remanufactured old tools that my grandmother had. And I didn't realize what it was my grandmother had.
It's a cedar.
And well, no, this is just one of the attachments for one of these things here. This one is a cedar. It has these white things down here. Discs are for different size seeds. You got your hopper up there, and it's chain drive, and it drops, turns and drops the seed off. It cuts a ditch here with these 2 discs that are set at an angle as they rotate through. And then the back one should have the chain here pulls the dirt back in over it, and the back wheel runs it over and compacts it. But some of these other ones here, most of these are from Hoss Tools, HOSS, which I am not affiliated with. And my grandma had one. It was a single wheel one that had all sorts of the different tines, and it has the syrup pull on. And I didn't know what the heck it was for. I never saw her use it. She used it in the late 60s, early 70s when I wasn't around on her property, and it was sitting in the outside garden shed. And when she passed away, nobody knew what it was, and it got tossed onto the dumpster. Yeah, I wish I knew what I was then. It would have kept it, because. And they come with all sorts of attachments. They come with 1 wheels and 2 wheels. And they come with single and double stirrup hose. A bottom plow for it. You can get the spade plows up on the upper right here. All sorts of attachments and everything else you can think of for these things. And to see the double ones here, like in the upper left and center, has that high arch, so you can go over plants and cultivate next to the plants. And you have the syrup hose on there. You just like on the bottom center here, but you put those double syrup hose up on the this double wheel one, and you just scrape the weeds away and leave the plant in the middle. Really cool. Let's see what's the next one here. And here's the latest attachment I hadn't seen before, where they got a set of 6 discs, 3 on each side for disking. And this is hand-powered walk behind. So these here I all showed in green here are all for the when they're after the event. And you're going back to old school gardening. All right, this is similar to the one I have out there. I couldn't find a picture of mine. I thought they already made this and emailed it from the one computer to the other. But I've done videos on it showing me using it 5 years ago. So, but yeah, I planted a whole bunch of beans using it. In fact, that's the same video I was using the electric rotor tiller in across the street on both of those. What else we got here? Yeah. Here you got the big muscle one, and I've seen these. This is Blitz, but I've seen some Fiat, and believe it or not, Ferrari made some like this, and the controls swing off to the side, and you can lock it off to the side so you can control it from the side rigidly, so you're not walking where you just rotor tilled, plowed, or did whatever. And the back piece here, you see how it looks like it's twisted? It is. It pivots right here behind the wheels. so you can do an angle on it for doing stuff. Thank you. And Schwaffer Homestead is here. Hey. Yeah, the Haas ones are very expensive, but they're the ones you're going to hand down to your grandchildren. If you tell them what it's for so they don't throw it out.
Yeah, they're built to last, and the parts are readily available. They're not like some wacko parts and things they use from that they made specifically just for that you can never get it after 5 years, like cars.
Yeah. But the thing is, so see, Haas is remanufacturing the exact same thing that was made 60 years ago.
Yeah.
Or more. All righty. Do I got anything after this one here? Oh.
That's a serious ankle biter there.
Yes. I'm not even sure where I could find one of these. It would have to be back east, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. That's the original brush hog.
Yeah, and yeah, so this is your two powered wheel little monster here. And you look at this, oh, that looks like a Kohler engine.
Yep.
That looks like a Kohler engine. And it's this black thing is where you wrap your rope around, and then you pull it, and then you roll up the cord, and you tie it up on the handle or whatever.
Yeah, you pull push your one lever, and the sickle bar sticking out the front, that single rod sticking out pivots back and forth mechanically at a distance. So yeah, that's an old sickle bar mower. Yeah,
and things not only can you use it for you can use it, I wouldn't use this for brush hogging, but this is when you're putting in your own little wheat field or barley field or something like that. And yeah, this you go along, and the guys are kind of behind you with the pitchforks and stuff, throwing it up on the wagon or throwing it into rows to dry out and then throwing it up. But yeah, this this would be so cool to have.
That's the same thing with a harrow.
It's a little bit different. It's a similar model, similar one, but different model. So this one has a bigger pulley on the front here. It's painted green for wrapping the rope around, so it's easier to start than that little smaller one. But yeah, and it's got a bottom plow on the back. There's your brush hog. There's your walk behind brush hog. The first one of these I saw was a DR, whatever it is, one. Yeah. Tammy Harder's in the house, and Howie Food Forest Permaculture is in the house.
Yeah, that thing just uses a beefy ass lawnmower blade.
Yeah, except it pivots inside there just like a big brush hog does.
Right.
The good ones do. That way they don't break off and go flying. But yeah. So if you have like 1 inch saplings, they show them taking down fresh, not dead dry ones, but fresh ones. Taking them down with it. But yeah, so that's another walk behind tool. And like this and some of the ones I showed at the beginning, those are the ones you'd use for when you're first prepping an area that has not been a garden to turn it into a garden. So yeah, these things here would be I've seen most of these used on uneven areas where our coyotes would not work.
Right.
And the person's barely able to walk behind it, walking up the hill.
The only thing with those, I mean, unless you have an area you only try to clear it out once a year. Yeah. Once you clear out the heavy stuff, if you're going to till it up, you're really kind of never going to need it again. As long as you're always, farming it or planting there and using other smaller devices. Yeah. But
this is for someone that has inherited a couple hundred acres that haven't been taken care of, and they're just taking whacking it out a couple acres at each year.
Couple acres, you might want to buy a tractor.
That's where teenagers come in handy.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
But yeah,
go, here's a push mower. Go cut the field.
I'm pretty sure it was Arms Family Homestead. Oh, shoot. DJ's the wife's name. Can't remember his name off the top of my head. Used to be a highway patrolman for Oklahoma. Daniel Arms. Because he got his parents' old place or his grandparents' old place. A lot of cedar, small cedar bushes turning into trees, and he said he was first thinking about one of these, but he went ahead and got a bigger tractor with a brush hog to take care of the cedar. Then he got goats. But yeah, I think that's the last. No, it's not. Okay, here's one. Here you go. All the different attachments and I'm looking at these wheels here. Can someone correct me or tell me what country of origin this is? In the meantime, the one here in the center here, that's a cedar, a three bank cedar on there. So they're seeding as they're going along with the tractor. They got all the furrowers and cultivators and harrows and discs and everything else for a walk behind unit.
They could just be all refurbished, really old American made stuff.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the emblems on the engine and I'm not sure. I'm looking at the design and stuff. I'm not sure what they are. Anyways. And this shows, is that the same wooden handle? Yeah, same wooden handle. So this is one of those using the cultivator to go along for it, for where they're cultivating the field and stuff after it's been rotor tilled and everything else and getting ready to do stuff. I tell you, you wouldn't want one of those things running over your foot.
Yeah, OSHA might have a problem if we made those today.
So OSHA, sorry, this isn't occupational. This is home gardening. Get out of here. You are occupational. Well, this is not occupational. Get out of here. You're trespassing. And I think that's the last one. So, folks, what other walk-behind tools can you think of that you might want to use, that you could use?
If you got a horse or a ox,
yeah,
there's all kinds of stuff. You just got to be able to make the ox walk a straight line.
Yeah, and because then you have your regular plows and all your other stuff on that. One of the things I didn't really consider a walk behind, but you're kind of walking behind it, but you're carrying it, and that's like a weed eater.
Yeah.
So it is kind of walk behind, but yeah. Of course, if you have the weed
backwards, in which case you're walking in front of it.
Yeah. But if you're carrying one of those, it depends if you have the string on it, you have the plastic cutting blades on it, or you got the flippy metal blades on it, or you go with the table saw on it, saw blade, and of course the 7-inch steel wire brush off your grinder.
Yeah, if you put a saw blade on there, though, just watch out, because as soon as you hit something hard and that thing kicks back, you will bend the end of your weed whacker. Don't ask me how I know. And then you're just going, maybe I shouldn't have put a saw blade on there.
Yeah. Angel says so what she's talking about is the old reel lawnmowers. Yeah, I grew up with those things. But what's he say? I like the wood. The wood chipping video came out today. Yes. I think that one came out on Gray Man Prepping. The version from Camppatton comes out tomorrow. Will you put leaves in the fall? That wood chip has the branches, leaves, and all went through the wood chipper on that. But it sat all winter, all fall and winter. I got a little bit more out there and back of wood chips. I got to see if I can talk to the guys at Madrigal Tree Service and get them just to drop a couple of loads off here, because they got like 10 acres or so. They're just dumping it out there on that. I'd like to drop a couple more truckloads of chips here.
I don't know if I want to rent a wood chipper that you tow behind that takes up to like 6-7 inch trees, and do all those pine trees I push down, or get a small one that'll do up to like 2 inch, a little mobile 8-horse one, and sit there for weeks on end and cut all the branches off these pine trees and feed them through. Or
well, even with the ones that they got a new, when the guys were taking down my cottonwoods, they got a new one. Their older one, when it would chip, left bigger pieces. The newer one they got from this other company where the old man was retiring, and the kids decided they didn't want to run it. It was too much work. And the grandkids wanted nothing to do with it. So they bought all his equipment, and the other one puts out some really nice fine chips. And
the smaller the chip, the faster it degrades and turns to mulch and turns to dirt, and
Well, the thing is, though, the smaller one too, when you put it out, it's more even, and it compacts better. And so if you're like, I was running the drip system. The wife and I ran drip system around all the trees out there, and the finer stuff will help keep all that moisture down in the ground.
Right. You got big chips, little chips, shreds, which are long shred pieces. Depends on what kind of chipper you got and the blades that are in there and what it does. Yeah.
But for your pine tree, even out here, they for the anything about 4.5 inch, 5 inches or smaller, they're cutting up for firewood for me. I know 4.5, 5 inches or larger, they're cutting firewood, and the other ones they were running through there, and especially that new one. Oh, it just made like a beat bunch, like you had a herd of 1,000 angry beavers in there. Just
I remember I forget what manufacturer it was, had a chipper. They literally nicknamed it the Chuck and Duck. You throw it in, you duck, because it would suck that 6-inch diameter, 20-foot tree through it in like 3 seconds. And there were no safeties on it. If you were stuck on a branch, you're going in.
Was that a Vilmer?
I don't remember. They all did about the same thing back in the day before they started putting the power feed on it with the bar and the safety bar. So like if you got stuck going in, you grab the bar and pull it down. It stopped the blade. But however, back before OSHA was a thing.
both of these chippers they had here, when they turned it off, it took about 90 seconds for that blade to stop. It's all of a sudden the motor stopped, and all you hear is
these other ones, these guys would finish doing the trees where I was growing up, and they would drive 12 miles in traffic to the next place. It was still rotating. You don't want to like rear end this thing and go through the windshield, because you'll just be a splattered mess in their wood chip pile.
Yeah. Well, a hoe and a rake are in front of you most of the time. So those are you're walking behind those, or actually you're walking backwards a lot of time, hoeing and leveling out the stuff behind you. So
I'll keep my jokes to myself.
Yeah. But anyways, I just tonight wanted to cover some of the options for everybody, and things you can do and use and stuff, to what's out there. And sometimes you can find especially back in Pennsylvania, there were Farm All Fanatic goes to all those auctions back there. Yeah, they have those hand tools and stuff. The motorized walk behind tools and stuff out there. He's shown some of those and stuff. He's interested in the bigger stuff. You don't walk behind, you ride on top of it.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things. I just want to give people options of what's out there. I mean, let's go back here. Backing up here on some of the pictures over on the screen here. Yeah, some of these are really versatile. Yeah, unfortunately, they are also very expensive. This one's almost as much as my Coyote Bare Bones. Almost. Yeah. These tools here, the seeders, the cultivators, stirrup hose, and everything else. All good walk behind tools, especially if the event has happened and we're now in Milwaukee. Honorable mention carts, power carts that you walk behind, non-powered carts you walk behind. I'm not sure they were calling this a wheelbarrow when they first built it, but it's a garden cart that you walk behind.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And this is a 79. You do the math. This was bought in 79 by my brother.
Okay, so it's the 80 to now. It's 40 years, 45, 46 years old.
Yeah.
I prefer, my neighbor gave me one for the one on the left, the orange one, dual wheels.
Yes.
You don't have to sit
my
there
wife
and
loves the dual wheels ones.
Oh my God.
We got our dual wheel one for up here. We went down to the Home Depot in Pocatello. I think because the one up in Idaho Falls was out of them. So we went down there and we got the one down there. I have replaced, like I said, all of the wheels on the wheelbarrows that are here on the property with the run flat tires from Harbor Freight. Yes. However, word of warning, don't leave the wheelbarrow full of heavy stuff with the run flat tires. That is sort of a foam in there, and it will depress a little bit. And you start going thump, 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 just a little thump, but And so this is all sorts of fun wheelbarrows. This one in the silver one here towards the middle, that looks like it's more like a hand truck and on a wheelbarrow, and I don't know, it looks goofy, but the little Mantis brand, one of these. If the area's been broken up and is good, and you just want to some compost and stuff where you're working, you got the other big monsters. And every time I see this one, I expect to see a jet engine flame coming out of the back of it, and some little kid hanging on. They went wrong way. There we go. Yeah, Howie would love Howie might love this too a little bit, but I know CR would love this one here because this is definitely a chop, drop, and chop it up some more. And yes, you can spread seed for your deer plot or for your little half acre of wheat for doing your own flour, whatever, or just cover crop. Yeah, and you make sure you got a bag on your lawnmower so you can add it to the compost pile. And I think that's the last. That was the last behind. Yeah. all mowers are chop and drop. Our big one's chop and bag, and then we put it in the compost pile.
I used to bag every now and then. I'll bag my my cuttings in the yard here. Most of the time, no, I just throw it everywhere, let it mulch back in. Whatever nutrients and volume of dirt came out of the dirt goes back to the dirt.
Yeah. Oh, my son sent up 2 10-pound bags of coffee beans, maybe 5-pound bags, big bags of coffee beans that he got, and he didn't store it properly. And he goes, "It's, my wife says it's probably still good, but he's finicky, and he." So it came up here for the compost pile. I'm gonna feed it through the chipper shredder first, and then let it break up some of those beans so they can compost easier. I think we've covered everything good tonight. Hopefully everybody got ideas. And if you don't have a garden that is large enough to justify getting some of these things, check with someone else who does, because they may not be using certain equipment all the time, and you may be able to go over and borrow it or pay a small rental fee to be able to use some of their stuff, or just pay them to come over and do it since they know how to run it. Be careful; they might send their kid over to do the rototilling for you. And you would be really sad about that if the kid knows exactly how to do everything perfectly. And Lewis just showed up. Hey, Lewis.
What up, Lewis?
So what's coming up here? Let me grab the calendar here. So tomorrow on Gray Man Prepping, the topic is after the water stops. What are your plans? Monday, back here on Camppatton Family Compound, preserving citrus fruit. And we're going to be talking about all the different ways to preserve it. Tactical Tuesday for Gray Man Prepping, creating a working budget. I didn't say anything about sticking to it. I just said creating a budget. I can hear the snicker from the other room. Thursday is the Midnight Ride, and next Friday here is livestock babies. Something a lot of people don't think about when they're setting up a homestead or a mini homestead. It's livestock babies. All right. So that's what's coming up here in the next week, and try getting your garden going. Oh yeah, I was wearing this hat outdoors just about every day. First day I didn't when not this past Sunday, but a week ago past Sunday, when I was first out there on the lawnmower mowing all the lawns and stuff, and I was wearing my ball cap, and my ears got a little sunburned. Oh yeah. So I put this on. So it helps out. Yes. The coffee for especially blueberries and boysenberries will help do it. Also for plants. I can't think of it. I just lost the name. The flowering plants, the more acidic, the different, as you add more acidic soil and amendments to it, the flowers turn different. I'm not sure. You get all these bright different colors from when you add the coffee beans and stuff to the rhododendrons. Thank you. I wonder why I have so much trouble with that. Maybe I just don't like Rhode Island. No comment from Mark.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I was on Marketplace looking at stuff going, containers. Great. I don't need another one.
Hydrangea, as Tammy says. Okay. So, anything that I said, I can't remember rhododendrons because I probably don't like Rhode Island. Don't know why I've never been there. You have, haven't you?
I went to college there.
Oh. And Glenn just showed up.
Interesting town post 6 p.m.
Post 6 p.m. You mean after 6? Okay,
after 6 p.m. every night. Doesn't matter what weeknight it was. Weekend. Oh yeah, it was a whole different
you watch
city.
The locals roll up the sidewalks.
Yeah, it was a whole different city when the sun went down. Still is. Although I don't think it matters now whether it's up or down. It's just it's a mess.
Yeah. All right, everyone. We're going to leave you with this, and we'll see you hopefully tomorrow over on Gray Man Prepping for the videos tomorrow, the live streams. All right. Take care, everyone.
Sweet. Have a good night.
Come on. Why isn't it ending?